somewhere?
No, we went somewhere yesterday. We're gonna stay home today.
Yeah, it's
It's staying home day.
Huh?
It's staying home day.
And why are you
And we're on YouTube.
We are live
I just
on YouTubes.
I just added an X to that.
All right.
I just added an X. Oh, excuse me.
You're
Of
awesome.
course, I haven't yawned yet, and I get on, and now all of a sudden, it's,
Yep.
I'm yawning on camera. That's fun. Everybody wants to see me do that.
Yeah, well, you keep saying that word, and that's what's going to happen with me. All right.
Good morning.
YouTubes. We're real. We are hopefully recording. This is Mom Talk with Mindy of MindyGets.com and ta-da!
Erica. And Erica with Love, Joy, and Sprinkles.
With a few little extra hidden joiners.
Yeah.
So it could be an exciting talk today.
Yes, for sure.
Who
I
knows?
don't know if he's actually showing up on camera right now.
Nope, he is well hidden on the floor of Central Perk. I don't know where he is. I don't know if I want him on the floor of Central Perk, but you never know, kids.
Well, I would say maybe not.
But of course they would try it out, which is kind of perfect because talking about floors in public spaces kind of leads into the talk about toxins, which is a somewhat spontaneous talk. Usually we have a little chit chat that kind of is either on Messenger back and forth about something that's come up during our week or whatever, or we chat before we begin while we drink our beverage of choice in the morning. But we were joined by the toddlers today, so we talked Legos and fun memories.
Oh, no, not right now.
And
toddlers.
And
No,
toddlers.
we're not actually watching YouTube right now, sweetheart.
We're on the YouTube, Ollie.
Yeah, we're on the YouTube, but we're not.
After you're done, can you after you're done, Mom,
Could you be done and put on something much more entertaining? And you hold
After we're done, we can put something on YouTube.
Yeah, like to emergency,
Oh, you just saw it. Yeah, Finn went to the emergency room. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe. Okay. Let's see if we can find that video again. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
toddler
YouTuber.
Yeah.
Watch it.
It's
a family.
Toddler endorsement.
Okay. Okay. I don't know, but let me talk to Mindy, okay? Can you come over here and play with your Legos? Oh, Ollie. I am talking to Auntie Mindy, okay?
Oh, I want to play right here.
Okay. Okay, well then let me see. Okay, let me talk to Mindy, okay? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
We should be okay for a minute or two.
Get out the auctioneer voice.
Yeah.
How many complete sentences can you get out before the toddler says something else? None. Because
which actually is, I was just reading because I'm still working my way through, and because we take notes while we read some books.
Yes.
And I'm almost done, finished with Do Less.
Yay.
And she was talking about, time and child time, how they live in the moment, which is why time is relative.
Yes. And it is. and it would be great if we could adopt that. But as adults that have prescribed our thinking to that whole linear little world, forget about that. But for the sake of your time, we will try to get into this topic.
Yeah,
And
we'll
we
have to
didn't
jump
get into it in the beforehand, so it's like, oh yeah, okay, hi, record. What are we talking about? Oh yeah.
Why did you turn into tiny?
Yeah, some of the things we've actually been talking about off camera recently.
Look at all the things I'm doing. I'm writing the whole name.
You're writing the whole names? That's fabulous.
Yay.
What names did you write?
Frog and lily pad, seagull, seaweed, starfish, shells, crab, and mussel. I'm gonna write.
And if you could see the book, you would see that it says
and,
toad and frog, not
This
frog
is
and
where I
lily
write
pad.
lily pads.
But that's what happens when you can't read. But it's fun because she's traced the letters and they look really nice.
Well, that's cool. That's how you start, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Toxins.
Toxins. Toxins. Topic of choice. Yeah, it's the thing that I would really like to avoid. And really, like, I made a comment this morning on a gal's post about a resource that she was sharing. I was like, I really wish I didn't need that. I really, really wish I didn't. And I think since I went to that medical freedom rally in Wichita a couple of weeks ago, knowledge is power and it is wonderful. But there is something to be said about the truth of ignorance is bliss. Although I don't know
what you can't
necessarily if it's
unlearn.
bliss. Right, what you can't unlearn, what you can't unknow. And when you know, then all of these other things, like all of the dots start connecting, and it's honest to goodness sickening. Literally and figuratively, and I don't know how to avoid all of it. So years ago, I partnered with a company that was all about taking the toxins out of personal care and home care products. Still 149% believe in that company and that mission. And if you need the hookup, totally happy to hook up. Anybody who is looking for alternatives to what you can get at the local corner shop. But that really opened my eyes to the ginormous, I see, an enormous problem that toxins are in our world. The fact that babies are born with 200 known toxins in their cord blood is just maddening, sad. And if you just stop there and think, oh, there's toxins in their cord blood, that's bad, period. But you think if you take that to the next step, the cord blood is like the thing, like, you know, if you do a cord cutting, children have a less chance of becoming anemic and having other problems because that is vital stuff, right? Like that's like the mother lode, good juju juice blood that they should really be pumping into their bodies as they're being birthed. And to know that part of what is being pumped into them at that point is toxins just breaks my heart. Exactly. Blah.
Well, to know their start, that's the start they're getting, right? And
These markers are
that's your average, right? Your baseline level, your average person level.
Right.
So there may be less, yes, it depends on what your lifestyle is, but there may be more. That's average lifestyle. So the idea that the average baseline is that.
Pretty sad.
Inspiring.
And that is pristine, never, eating a Big Mac, taking a drink of fluoridated water. That's never, ridden down the highway with the windows down and all the exhaust and whatever. Slathered on baby oil and I was going to say dime store makeup, but nobody probably knows what a dime store is anymore.
Dollar store? Trying to think. What
yeah, we had 5 and dimes.
Now we've got one. Now you've got $1 and $5 stores.
Yeah.
We actually have a new one here that's called Five
Below.
And it's like,
Five
oh,
Below.
yeah. Yeah, it's everything is $5 and below. In theory.
Yeah, I know. The dollar store also has 5 and 10 and $20 items or $12 items or whatever. But yeah.
Distortion. But anyway, yeah. So for those of you that are a little bit newer, younger, I prefer to say newer, but I don't want to be patronizing. I don't want to say it in that way. I'm just trying to keep my age from sounding so bad. Yeah, that's basically the equivalent of the $1, $5 stores.
Yeah. So what do we do? What have we done? What are we doing about toxins? Because they are literally unavoidable. I mean, you can go live in the bubble down in Tucson, but you're still going to take your body with you.
But they're even using fertilizer. So,
okay.
Right? I mean, I would imagine. I don't live there, but I would imagine they're using something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. But let's hope that it's compost and composting or something like that.
I mean, even organic foods. If you actually read the guidelines for organic foods, are allowed to have, like you said.
And fertilizer is different than pesticides and herbicides, although there are some less redeeming fertilizers out there. And the more that I deep dive into regenerative ag, the more I see that if you're feeling the need to use a chemical fertilizer of any sort, it probably means that you are doing something depleting or destructive to begin with. And so, yeah, I don't technically use any fertilizers in my garden. The hydroponic one does get a mineral supplement, but it's one I highly trust. And sometimes I do use that as a water addition to water the dirt garden. That is rare. And it's also because I'm converting. So my dirt garden was lawn. My dirt garden was lawn that was chemically treated for a long time. And so I didn't plant anything directly in the ground dirt for years, for 3 years. And I treated the ground dirt with loads of compost, manure. Before I did it. But beyond that, toxins, what do we do because we can't avoid them? What do you do for your body and your family? Buying organics.
No.
You're shaking the camera. Please stop.
I heard a statistic the other day. Can't remember the exact source, but it was a place that I trusted.
Stop.
It said within 6 days, so less than a week of eating organic foods, you can decrease your glyphosate load in your body by 70%. Wow. Well, how does that happen? When you stop inputting it into your body can start to get rid of it. Right? And when you're not putting more in, then it gets to be gone.
Kind of like a tub, right? That's full a little bit, right?
Yep.
If you're putting water in, you're just never getting rid of the water that's in there. You actually let the tub drain. I'm using this as an analogy because I've got a tub issue right now.
Oh, fun.
You let the tub drain. You let the tub drain and then fill it.
I didn't finish all these pages, but I'm just gonna do the last.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you can fill it with that clean water, or right,
yes.
Kind of like that. But if you constantly have that layer of,
yes, and just like the tub, we all have limits. There's only so many toxins that you can take in and that your body can deal with before something happens, before you get ill, before you start gaining weight and not being able to lose weight. Bless you, before you get a diagnosis, whatever. Our body is incredible and it does amazing things every single day to get rid of and deal with all of the toxins that we put it through. And we don't necessarily have to request that. That's just what the body does. And so I think that allows us to ignore it because we don't have to sit there and spend 15 minutes every morning going, and now my body is going to cycle through the toxic load release. Right. Your liver just does it, and so we get to have that ignorance is bliss until we don't anymore.
Stop. I will take you into Daddy. Stop.
I've just come to that place where I can't ignore a lot of the things that are going on, and too many dots are being connected. But as you were talking about the tub thing, it made me think about the thing that you and I are doing right now that we've talked about before briefly
I want to see the background.
In more detail is our 10-day detox program. Something that you can do monthly, something that we can do quarterly.
I don't see the back of it.
And it gives our body that chance to reset, to decrease that toxic load, to catch its breath, and as well as to learn new habits so that we aren't just continually dumping into the tub, right? We are finding ways to lessen the number of buckets going in, which is at least my goal, is to lessen that input as much as possible. I'll shut up now.
No, I'm following along. It's interesting. You definitely know more about it than I do. You've definitely learned more about it than I have. I'm still newer to it. I did find, speaking of,
No,
a
that's
new
not-
that I'm trying. So we'll see how
This
it
is
goes.
a skeleton.
Oliver, I am not playing right now. Okay, you need to wait. So I actually found, 'cause especially right now, it's hard to get out. It's hard to make those choices depending on where you can or want to shop. Sometimes you have many options, but it still doesn't feel like you have a lot of options because you don't want to go out, or sometimes you're in a place where there's not as many options to go shopping in. So I know I'm trying to, right now, I guess limit exposure still, but still find good options. And also trying to find ways that I can find time, grocery shopping being one of those. So I actually, this week, I'm trying for the first time, it's called Farm Box. Well, you know, you can choose conventional versus organic.
Cool.
You can choose, because there is a difference in price,
Cool.
but, and you can choose, depending on the size of your family, there are different sizes of boxes, but it's supposed to be, and it may not be like hyper local farms, but right now, to me, any way we can support, to me, local is, can we support our country too, right? There may be things I can't get here. I live in a desert. Growing things is not easy. Kudos to the farmers that are still out here and that are growing and in agriculture. And, you know, even meat-wise, we're more known for dairy animals than meat animals. But so trying different things, farm boxes, farm to table, farm to home, delivered to the house. So we have already a meat delivery that we do that does local farmer, small yield. Again, I'm newer to it, so I don't know as much the terminology, but more small yield versus large slaughter kind of stuff. Grass fed, non-antibiotic. So I recently found, and again, first time trying, this is not necessarily endorsement. It's not necessarily criticism because I haven't tried it yet. They're not supporting us. So it's literally, I got a coupon and I said, let's try this because then I don't have to go food shopping. And then I wound up stopping at Sprouts. But because the box gives you, just like we used to try Bountiful Baskets here locally. And you only have a limited choice, right? There's not a lot of options on what goes in the basket. So I decided Sprouts because we do bananas for smoothies, right? We like bananas in our smoothies, not something that usually comes in those kind of boxes. So picked up a couple things yesterday. Plus trying to go with more natural personal care and things too. So I started to shop at Sprouts for that. I know the company you were talking about, still love their products, slightly still out of my price range right now. Sprouts is kind of in between that and your drugstore kind of stuff, right? It's a little bit more expensive because it's more natural, but it's not quite at the more expensive level. So trying that for right now, making those small changes, right? It's not about, yes, it would be great if we could make changes, from this to this overnight and totally flip, but it's not always feasible, again, depending on where you live, what options you have, right? It's about doing what you can in the moment, making small changes, which is why I love the company we're partnered with now, because we talk about, like right now, the detox we're doing now, there's guidelines, can you follow all 10? Or are there certain ones you can focus on? What's your concentration this month? It's about lifestyle changes, making those, making those little changes one thing at a time sometimes can actually add up, right? Those small steps. Sometimes we talk about, it's about taking the steps, not how big the steps are or how many steps, as long as you're moving progress, not perfection. And I'll stop the cliches now.
Yeah, cliches are cliches for a reason, but I totally agree that when I think about toxins and the overload, I do get overloaded, but part of the way to focus and get out of that spinning feminine circle is to take action, to do a thing, whether it is finding a local CSA, finding a bountiful baskets, going to your farmer's market instead of the grocery store first. Because dollars matter. Dollars are your ballot for the world, right? Like, how is the world going to change? Well, those local farmers with the small farms can't grow their farms or maybe even keep their farm if they don't have somebody buying their goods, right? And it's easier to get out to a local market than to a national market. Plus, it's more beneficial to the local people anyway, because the closer that you are to the food, the fresher the food, the more nutrients are in the food, the better you are going to benefit. So I would rather spend $2 on tomatoes that were grown 20 minutes away than $1.50 at the grocery store for ones that God only knows where they came from.
Not right now.
Because I know that Bob grew them organically, even if he can't afford the certification, right? He picked it when it was red and ripe, and he brought it to me, and I ate it a day and a half later, right? So,
Hey, Mama, I can't find something. I can't find the marker.
oh dear. Well, maybe stand up and look around. I used to fall asleep writing, so I guess I can't curse the child for losing a marker in the bed. So, well, pull back the blanket.
Oh,
Hiding under who knows?
I've done that.
Of course, marker without a lid.
Okay, that's more dangerous.
Yes, yeah. But
that's more dangerous.
it's one of those wipe clean books from Youthborn, which I love.
Oh.
I guess it's totally an endorsement, but they're not paying me. I love their products, and I love these wipe clean books for kids and for learning because we are homeschooling. And I love that she's totally engrossed.
I haven't tried the wipe clean books, but we do love the flashlight books.
Which is, yeah.
We don't have any of the wipe cleans yet.
Talking about earlier, she's like, "Why'd you bring the flashlight up if you didn't bring the flashlight book?"
Mama,
Well, why?
can I want to be able to.
You're muted. Okay, which is a great opportunity to start to teach our kids too some of those things. Definitely raising readers helps them to learn from the beginning and learn these things too, without even realizing it.
They won't stay in.
Yeah,
that's because they're made for mommy's ears. Yeah, they're a little bit big.
There you go. Okay, don't pull on it though. But yes, part, of course, I mean, I want less toxins for me, but once I had this one, it became a whole different thing, right? I am far less tolerant of things like the lawn being sprayed, etc. Are you done? I'm far less tolerant of those things than I was when it was just me. Like, I'll deal, I can handle the consequences, but now my daughter's like, oh, hell no, right? Like,
Can you open this?
Just not a possibility. And so yes, I love the notion of voting with your dollars, choosing where you spend your money. But I also realize everyone has their perceived time constraints, perceived budgets, real budgets, however you want to think about it, you know, and
Amazing.
so you have to work within those things.
Amazing, Mama.
It is amazing.
Mhm.
You know, we
Ollie
also
has one
have
of
to
those
look.
in blue.
Thanks. I'm going to make some for this.
Ours has to be rainbow. You know, everything has to be rainbow.
Yes.
Um,
And unicorn.
Ooh.
And mermaids.
But yeah, yeah. Well, and that's why if you can find some of your opportunities, like if you want to start making some of those small changes, finding those opportunities locally, where you can, or even, you know, with some of these larger companies kind of help kind of bridge that gap. And because otherwise, I mean, that is a lot of research, right? What are the local farms where some of these companies can help to kind of bridge that gap a little bit, or like a Bountiful Basket, local farmers market, right? Find those opportunities to make the small changes, where you can make them one at a time. You kind of find those opportunities, I guess, to do that. Because it's based, because then it can be based on what's available in your area and what you can do to help.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's as simple as, you know, people choosing not to go through the big online.
Do you see
You know,
it?
there's a lot of companies that sell through there, but they also have a website. So you can jump off the big A and go and say, I'm going to buy from them
Do you
directly.
see this?
Yes, they see it. Auntie Kirka sees it.
No.
But you know, if you use someone like Farmbox, if they highlight their growers, you can continue to use Farmbox, or you can see, I mean, if they are local, they might be at your farmer's market, and so you could go buy more things or find out more about them.
Beautiful.
All of those things. And if you're interested in my number one defense, and Auntie Kirka's number one defense for toxins, we are happy every day, all day to talk to you. Well, maybe not all day.
Well, and
whenever.
ways to get them started, and ways to get the little ones started early and get the good stuff in them instead of, there's a lot of toxins in some of the supplements that are
I'm doing.
given too.
Yes, yeah.
Good, right.
Watch what I'm doing. Watch what I can do.
Yes, I can see. Yes, toxins, not only in the product, but just in the fact that isolated vitamins can be hard on your body or superfluous. And so it's still something that your body has to deal with. Because I know you see, like, there's 150% vitamins, the recommended daily allowance of vitamin A and C, and there's 239%. 239% isn't necessarily beneficial, right? 239% increase in my bank account will be fine and beneficial in my book.
But your body can't always process that much extra, so you're putting all that extra in your body to just basically push it out.
Yeah.
Because even vitamins can become toxins in your body, depending. So, just looking for opportunities to make changes, and that could be one of them too. So,
yes.
Or in your shakes that you have for breakfast, right? What do you have for breakfast, or food that you have for breakfast, even for that matter?
Yes, if you're looking to cut out sugar. So while heavily processed sugar, you can debate whether or not that's technically a toxin, but it is something that is addictive and full of chemicals and devoid of nutrition, and is therefore a burden on your body. If it's not nourishing your body, it's a burden. no matter how you look at it. And so if you can decrease some of those burdens, no matter what they are, how you get them, you will be better off. And so, sorry, this thing is really fun to play with. So while your brain is going,
once you start get going, yeah.
And so if you're looking for easier solutions, faster solutions to breakfast, snacks, whatever, if you're looking to support your immune system and body to do the things that it needs to do and lessen some of those toxic burdens, we're gals. We know what's happening on that front.
Mhm.
And right now we are nearing the end of our 10-day detox. 3 more days to go, but we do it again. I don't know the exact date of the next one, but I know I'm happy to do it any and every month. So if anybody wants to jump on that train, I will lead you down the road. Anything else you got to say about toxins before a tiny tot rebellion?
I'm pretty sure he'll be back any minute now. So
Yep. Alrighty. Well, in this moment of silence, I'm gonna stop the recording. Thank you for coming. We will be around next week. If you have questions, drop them in the comments.
I might be on the road. I might be out in the desert.
Oh, that's
but
right.
I'll still be available. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
because it's finally like 75 here in the morning. So we're going to get outside. Yep, here it is. So we're going to get outside for some practice, I think maybe next weekend. So, but I can still do it in the car from the range. I'll figure it out.
Awesome.
Tree range. So,
All right. We will
all right.
see you around.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us.